Hey, what's up? It's Comic95, the Savior, and I have to warn my subscribers about what's gonna go down. Y'all gonna love this. But I want to say so much stuff right now, and I thought to write it down to get my thoughts together, but I was like, no, I want to speak freely, unscripted. So I've given myself, I've had a full week now, actually, more than a full week. It's been almost 2 weeks. It's been a week and 3-4 days to collect my thoughts, and I honestly have not fully written them down. I went off on a rant on Patreon. I made a really long, not super long, but long enough blog post, left a really long comment saying everything that I wanted to say. So this isn't going to fully make sense unless you are a patron, which they can see my thoughts there. But I want to calm myself down, and I'm still going to be a little bit ignorant, but not as much as I was then, because I want what I'm saying to actually make sense. And I realize that I would be a hypocrite if I do not articulate myself well and get my point across. So first things first, I am not perfect. My channel clearly states that I'm not all the time. That's what my journal videos are. I talk about what goes on inside my real life, raw, unscripted, real stuff, whether it be conversations, situations, whatever the case is. The overwhelming majority of my YouTube channel is advice videos on random things in Japan, and second to that is me talking about my own personal life. Let me make some things clear. If you are friends with me, if you work with me, if you talk to me, and anything that we talk about includes myself in your conversation, and it's not personal business like what you're doing at home, your family, your relationships, etc., it is fair game for me to share those conversations. I am not saying or sharing anything that is secretive or that's private. I don't do that. Unless you want me to. That's all I do. I had a huge ghetto fallout with, yes, the 2 black girls I used to work with at a broad international school. And I hate to be so blunt and direct and talk like this, but I feel like at this point it's like, you know what, I don't even care anymore. I'll spare one of you and I won't say your name because I don't find it necessary. But for the other one, Trishelle, there you go, dropped your name. Are you happy now? They both tried to set me up, and they did, and it worked successfully, like Mean Girl style. And I won't even lie, I saw it coming, but I didn't believe that was what was going on because of how well they played everything. I went into more detail on Patreon. I'm not going to bother to run everything back to you, but I'm going to tell you guys in a nutshell what happened. And then I'm going to break everything down and say all of the stuff that I didn't say at the moment, because unlike Trishelle, I actually have class, and I don't believe in acting stereotypically ghetto in front of people that have probably never seen or been around a black person before, especially in a foreign country in which there are hardly any black people. The black people that do exist are normally from various countries in Africa, and black men at that. Not the best representation. Poor people working red light district jobs, etc. So, with that said, I'm going to say all of the things that I wanted to say that day that couldn't get said because 1, I wasn't being heard, 2, I was being ganged up on, and 3, I wasn't in an environment where I could actually speak my mind because unlike these people, Trishelle, I actually have class. I don't have ghetto wannabe housewives arguments in public places at a restaurant. So let me tell y'all what happened. I was in the process of moving from Osaka to Tokyo. I am now in my apartment in Tokyo. And, oh my gosh, while I was there, really shortly before I got there, I had messaged them saying that I was going to be back in Osaka, which I had done this 2 times since I had left there. This was now the 3rd time. The second time that I went back, I didn't have enough time to actually go hang out with them. I had planned to do it, but as always, they were flaky, reply late, everyone pretends to be busy, etc. So I was just like, you know what, forget it. I won't meet you all then. I don't remember who it was that couldn't meet up, but the way that I always handled things was, if for any reason the American black girl, which if you want to give your name, you could feel free, but like I said, I don't feel the need to say your name in particular. We all know who both of you are. if she was not available for whatever reason, I never would go and meet the Jamaican girl Trishelle by herself, because I didn't like her, and I pretty much made that clear in talking. But I never said it to you all, but it's pretty much factual, and she knew this too, but it was never said. So anyway, if all of us weren't going to be there, specifically if the American girl couldn't be there, I wasn't going to be there, because it was just awkward, weird, fake, and phony. And it was like she was the connecting piece that got us to all get along with each other. So the problem that I had with Trishelle is Trishelle reminded me a lot of my older sister, who I really did not like. They had very similar personalities where you couldn't really read their mind. Their tone and way of talking and going about things was just rude and nasty. And it's funny because Trishelle is a Gemini, which is hilarious, because I said this when I met her. I was like, I do not like Geminis. They were bad. And she was so surprised, like, really? Whatever, blah, blah. And it's like, yep, here we go, right there. So I wonder if it's a matter of being two-faced, though, because my sister, ironically, that I don't like, is she a Scorpio or a Virgo? I think she's actually, is she a Virgo? I think she's actually, no, she's a Libra, I think. She's either a Virgo or a Libra. I don't remember. But anyway, yeah. So, what was I saying to you guys? So, I didn't have any real huge problems with her. And I'll keep it real with you all. Like, the last few times I had met with her, they were good. They were fine overall. But whenever we'd have, like, deep conversations, etc., I always felt like, I can't explain it. Her way of arguing or disagreeing was never like in the same way as the American girl. It was always like a complete, like, total shutdown mentally, where if you didn't agree with her, it was taken like super personally. She was very opinionated, very strong-willed, whatever, stubborn, whatever you want to call it. And I talked about this in my video where I talked about going on that business trip when I mentioned my job at abroad, about what happened with me leaving there. And how I felt like, you know, she pretty much threw me under, not really threw me under the bus, but that I felt like she should have had my back more, as, you know, being the only black people there. But I'm gonna keep it real. I know some of my subs are from the Caribbean too. This is one of my biggest problems why I do agree with the American girl on this to a certain degree. I don't like mixing black people from different countries, because we do not see things the same way at all. And it really takes them going abroad to get a little bit of an idea as to part of what we don't see alike. Because I feel like for a lot of them, they feel like it's just you trying to make a them and us type thing, and it's like, no, y'all way of thinking is totally different with a lot of stuff. And there's a lot of piggybacking off of black Americans when it comes to stuff too. But we ain't finna get there into that conversation. I'm gonna have y'all mad inside the comments, which I don't care. So anyway, my problem that I had was, it's like certain things that black Americans know that you do or that you shouldn't do, it didn't even cross her mind. So for example, and I wanted to make a video on this, which I never got around to, but I'm gonna kind of talk about this a little bit. One of the things that we got into a really big, like, back and forth educational argument, where it was supposed to be cordial, not cordial, but, you know, a friendly disagreement, was on the topic of fake hair, about letting your students talk about your hair. Now, for her being a Jamaican, coming from a place where, keep it real, everybody's black. We'll just leave it at that. Everybody's black. And there's not a lot of opportunity to be around people of different races aside from going to touristy areas. The country is overwhelmingly predominantly black. With that said, they have the same level of ignorance that white people used to have back in the day, where, you know, it was okay to say and do stupid things to black people, because we didn't speak up like that back then. We didn't have the ability to say this isn't okay. And even for us as black people, you know, black Americans, we accepted a lot of stuff from white people that we shouldn't have, and it shouldn't have been acceptable, which is why it's such a big thing nowadays, making it clear, like, you know, don't touch my hair, etc. Well, for her, she didn't see anything wrong with it. For her, it's like, well, yeah, I am wearing a wig, so I can be honest with them and tell them that. And it's like, I get what you're saying, but the meaning is so much deeper. When I was a 5-year-old kid, as a black person that's not even mixed race, it never crossed my mind, oh, they're black, let me tell everybody they must be wearing a wig. I didn't even question whether it was real hair or not. I didn't even understand how to tell the difference between weave and real hair until I was like almost in junior high school. Okay, I understand her in one sense, but I'm thinking to myself, like, That's a part of the problem, making yourself a zoo exhibit for your kids, allowing them to see, showing them, oh, I can take off my wig for you like it's a hat or something. Because the problem is that when your students leave you, they are going to meet other black people. And you're acting like it's cute and innocent for now while they're young, but then when they get older, you will be the same black person calling this person ignorant, dumb Becky, whatever type thing. You'll be pissed off at them for being ignorant about black people. But then it's like you're encouraging racist behavior, if you get what I'm trying to say. So maybe think like, oh, like other people wear wigs and weave, etc. Yes, I get it. But they're not just saying it because I'm going to keep it real with the girl. Since we talking real now, woman to woman, and this is coming from me, somebody that, didn't grow up their whole life being bald-headed like you. Your wigs, for you to be rich, like how this girl was claiming that she was, this will all make sense as I go throughout the video, y'all. I'm just saying it right now, because while I have her attention right now. Since you're rich, Trishelle, I wonder why you can't afford to buy a real human hair wig. What's your excuse? What's your reason? Because part of what we got into argument at the end of all of this, when I was talking to Trishelle, she kept talking about, oh, like, I'm rich, and shoving her little stupid passbook inside my face. And it's like, that's like me putting my debit card in somebody's face. I'm pretty sure anybody living in the U.S. can get a debit card. Even if you're not a U.S. citizen. What's special about a passbook? Like, you look stupid. First of all, it was ghetto because you're making a scene inside the restaurant. 2, okay, like it only shows what money you put in or out that you chose to scan for. So I have no idea how much you really have inside of your account. And on top of that, forget about that. If you're really rich, you really have money. 1, you wouldn't be living in Japan because let's face it, you don't really want to be here. That's why you're dumb. You've been here for 10 years, you don't know shit. Can't even use chopsticks, can't get around by yourself. And you're working a job paying you less money than my black, poor, broke ass. Even although you're so rich and you're older than me and have a master's degree, right? But it don't mean shit because you're from Jamaica. But that's another story. So, back on subject. Why can't you buy a real wig, girl? Why you wearing synthetic wigs? Ain't even got no glue to put your shit down. But you got money, right? You got money, right? I got over $400 of human hair extensions inside my hair. And this shit is old, needs to be replaced. I've had it for a whole fucking year. And my crap is ready to be washed. I've had it inside my head for, not inside my head, but I've had these extensions unwashed for a good week. And they flat now. Still look better than your day-to-day wig. But you're rich. Buying $20 wigs from China. Okay. Anyway, that's not the point in this stuff. What I'm getting at is, what? Like, how do you not realize there's a problem with that? Your students are assuming that your hair is fake, regardless of the length, regardless of the texture, because they associate blackness with having short hair, fake hair, wigs. You've turned it into a game. Are you going to wear a wig or your real hair today type thing? Letting them touch your hair, see whatever. Like, why would you do that? I don't even find it necessary to entertain the question. Because the problem with it is, they're not going to associate it with, oh, this is this teacher. They're asking because you're black. Do you see them kids asking any of the white staff about their hair, if it's real, if they can see their real hair, if they can wear their real hair? No, they're only doing it to you. And while it might come off as innocent, it's problematic. And I can make a whole video about that, but I'm not going to get into that. That's not my point. My point was to simply talk about, the type of arguments we have over stupid little stuff. So now that I explained that we had that little stupid, sorry, my nose is itchy. The side of my nose for some reason. Now that I explained we had the little stupid conversation about hair and wigs, do you know that this bitch called herself mad at me over the fact that I made YouTube videos talking about our conversations that we've had? Now keep in mind that she acted as though I told her family business, something like that, on YouTube, when the videos that she got mad about was me talking about how she's been here for 10 years and don't know shit. That's true. But then the other problem was, it wasn't just what I said. It was the fact that she was focused on what I said and not why I said it. How is that fair? You can give a whole laundry list of crap that I've said about you then, but if you're not going to tell the full story and tell why something was said, then of course I seem like the bad person if all you could check off the list is, she said you from a third world country, she said you whatever. Trishelle, do you forget to mention the fact that I said that you're entitled? The whole point of me mentioning the country that you're from was the fact that you act entitled and that it was ironic because you come from a poor country. That's the part that you forgot to mention. If you just say, oh, she said X, Y, and Z about me, well, how can you talk? Sorry, I hit my camera. How can you talk? That's not even fair. Yeah, of course I sound like a horrible person for saying that. But you're forgetting my reasoning to it. The point was, you act like a bitch and a jerk. Your attitude is bad. Your voice is annoying as fuck. But forget about that part. Your attitude is bad. Your talking voice sounds irritated and anal when you're speaking to people. Your behavior and mannerisms is rude. And it's not because you're black, because you're hearing this from another black bitch herself, me. That was the point. The fact that you expect shit. And it's not just your accent, so drop the little, oh, it's because I'm Jamaican, I can't change my voice. Yes, you fucking can. Have you ever met a British person here? Do you know what they do when they come to Japan? They adapt an English American accent for work. And your bitch ass can do the same thing. So anyway, that's not my point. That's not what I'm trying to talk about. What I am trying to talk about is, okay, I am not even referring to your accent. Forget about that. We're not talking about accents and the fact you're from the Caribbean, because you're not the only Jamaican here. Sorry to break it to you. My issue with you is you act like people owe you service that you know damn well you don't get in Jamaica. Or maybe you do. And it's like, okay, you're not in Jamaica anymore. Guess what country you chose to migrate to when you were my fucking age, bitch? When you were 25 years old. I talked about in a video how we went to an electronics store. And I don't know if I mentioned this in this video, but I'm going to tell y'all this now. She needed to get a phone case and something else for her little stupid, expensive ass iPhone that she shouldn't have been buying, because now I'm going to tell you business, bitch. Her grandfather had died. She couldn't pay a credit card and her account got closed. And the bitch was asking me for advice and help on tons of shit. And at the time, she actually needed me to give her money. Did I give her money? No, because she had too much pride. But she did say that if she really needs it, that she would let me know. They canceled her card, closed her account. And she didn't want to get help from anybody. Financially, even though she needed it. But she said, oh, well, if I do, whatever. So she was playing, broke. I bought her some food for the time being. We went out to eat because she didn't have the money for it. Trishelle, I bought your food. Do you forget about that since you're so rich? She was asking me for advice on how to get a credit card because she's rich, right? And her account got closed. You can't afford one trip to Jamaica, can you? Nope. Don't come for me, honey. So anyway, aside from that, maybe a month or so later, I don't remember the exact dates, she wants to go to the electronics store. She asked me for advice. I told her where she should go. She had apparently never been there before because she acted like she didn't know where it was or what to do or anything else. So she asked if I can come with her. And so I was like, oh, sure. We planned to meet on the first floor where the elevators were at our school. She worked on, what was it at the time? I don't remember what floor you worked on. One of the higher up floors. I think it was the top floor, like 11th floor, whatever it was. I wait there 10 minutes after the time. And I'm like, okay, my pocket Wi-Fi is dead. At the time, I didn't have a Japanese phone. I'm ready to take my black ass home. It's after work. It's about to get busy. I'm waiting for you here, and I don't feel like going up and down the stairs. So like, you know what? Forget it. I'm going to go home. I'm guessing she decided not to. So I left. Then she messages me. I didn't get her message till I got home saying, oh, like, I'm here. Where are you? And so I told her that I went home. So she was okay with going by herself, allegedly. But I was like, no, I told her I'd go. I'd give her my word. So I told her I needed X amount of time. Got there, met her at Umeda Station. We go to Yodobashi Camera, and I'm not going to retell the story because I have a video on this already. She acts like an asshole after I help her when she's talking to the staff because they wouldn't open up the cell phone case to put it on this bitch goddamn phone. So she gets mad at the staff, throws a, passive fit and talks about how whatever place they did it for her. And, she's talking to them in English. And so I'm thinking to myself, like, okay, there's a few problems going on right now. One, they don't understand what the fuck you're saying. Two, they explain to you that they can't do that here. They even use Google Translate for you. And three, maybe you don't realize this, hoe, but when you get mad, you're childish with it. It's not just your words. Your body language, your demeanor, and Japanese people are super, super read the room type of people. They can feel all of that energy and shit. They can see that you're mad. I can see that you are. I'm getting secondhand embarrassment because I'm together with your ass. There's a long line and this place is busy. You're clearly frustrated, clearly being a bitch. And then it seemed like she called herself being passively mad at me. Because at first, it took her a while to find a case that she wanted because they didn't have a lot of stuff in stock. Because in Japan, people keep their phones like how I do for a long time. So whatever phone she had at the moment, they didn't have a lot of cases and things to choose from. She was asking the staff if they could recommend stuff. They didn't really have anything they could recommend. They just kind of like showed her anything. She wasn't happy about it. And so I'm thinking to myself, like, you seem really ungrateful. I went out of my way to help you. You ain't paying me to do this shit. This is taking time out of my day. And then on top of that, I'm thinking like, okay, like you're in Japan. This is not Jamaica or anywhere else you went. And this is not a phone store. You're at an electronics store. They don't do that shit. Because once it's open, it can't be taken back. What do you not get about that? That was the issue. I talked about another situation where we went to this cheesecake place. She got pissed off at the staff. I can't remember if they asked her if she wanted the bag and she didn't or what the case was. But whatever. Her response to it was rude as fuck. And so the whole attitude of the staff changed in both situations. And as always, she's completely oblivious to how people around her react to the way that she talks and her behavior. She's like up in the clouds or whatever. Trisha, that's how you act. And I've nicely said this to you before. I've nicely told you that, you sound a little bit rude. But apparently you forgot about that too. So now suddenly, when I shared in the video, now your feelings are so hurt. Now you're super focusing, looking at the fact of what I said. And it's like, no. Nobody just said bad stuff about Jamaica, etc. I said, for you to not come from anything is what I basically got at. You act like you came from everything. Yes, I am American. And you want to know what I also talk about on my channel, ho? I constantly tell people on my channel how I didn't come from shit. I don't act like I have stuff that I do not have. My whole YouTube channel and my journals, 99% of them is about me. Don't nobody give two fucks about your big gum bad wig having ass. Girl, bye. Your 6 foot tall can't get a man bitch ass. Ain't nobody worried about you. The story had to do with me because I'm with you, ho. You took time out of my day. You asked me to go with you. The story had to do with me. It's my story too, bitch. And if you weren't being an asshole, I wouldn't have to make one about you. Simple as that. Don't flatter yourself. She went off on me inside the restaurant. I'm going to backtrack the story to you in a minute. She went off on me inside the restaurant, complaining at me about making YouTube videos about her, etc. And talking about how I need to run her a check. Girl, you need to be running me a check for the help that I help your little goofy ass with because you can't speak Japanese, can't use chopsticks, ain't got no goddamn manners. And let me also sit you down for a second, honey. Don't try to act big and bad with me because you know my ass has manners. And I'm not ratchet like how your bitch ass is. Part of you not being raised by your mama, ho. You have zero class. I don't do that type of shit inside of restaurants. Let me help you out. Keep that same energy you tried to confront me with that day with the white staff at your job, AIS. You wouldn't dare say shit to them. And then since you want to call yourself trying to embarrass me in public, let me embarrass you in public. Let me tell everyone from your job that works with you a little piece of your shit. You spend all that time and money buying them gifts, going to their fake ass parties and get-togethers, and then you come back and talk shit about them to me. You want to tell them the stuff you said about them that you said to me? You want to do that, bitch? No, you ain't gonna fucking do it. Don't act big and bad and strong when you alone with me. Do that shit with the people that really do talk shit about you, with the people who truly are two-faced. Do that shit with them. Your coworkers that you see every day that smile in your face, talk shit about you, set you up, and had your goofy ass doing science week, doing all the hard work just to get zero recognition for it, and still get in trouble for trying your hardest on that shit. Don't get it fucking twisted with me, bitch. You want to act hard with me? Do that shit with the people that are really treating you like trash. Ain't nobody say shit bad about you that I ain't already said to your goddamn face. I told you that you have an attitude and that you sound rude. Ain't nobody telling your whole life business on YouTube. Everything I said is factual too. Can you use chopsticks? No. Can you read any Japanese? No, you fucking can't. And you've been there for more than twice the amount of time that I have. I ain't no expert either. What's your excuse, bitch? Everything I said was factual. I ain't telling your business. And then trying to make it seem like, oh, well, talk about you. Talk about your house situation, blah, blah. Bitch, if you spend 2 seconds on my channel, all of my subscribers know what's going on in my apartment situation. Patreon especially. It ain't no secret. The video that you watched that made you mad about AIS too, was that not telling my business? I even left up comments of people criticizing me and what I did at work. Get the fuck out of here, you stupid asshole. And that's a big part of what I talk about on my channel too. I have already doxed myself. All of my business is out there. You cannot, my family can't even come for me. All of my personal stuff, from my relationships with my family members, to my job, to my friends, it's already online. What the fuck can you say about me that other people don't already know? You played yourself, bitch. You ain't got no goddamn friends here, and you lost one of the only ones that you technically had. But I'm gonna keep it real with you then, since we being real, like how you said, cause you a real ass bitch, or whatever the fuck you tried to call yourself. I'm gonna keep it real with you then. No, I don't like your ass, and my reasoning for it was just that. I saw right through your shit. If all it takes is for you to believe that I shared your business, for you to start talking shit about me, this is already inside of your mind. You were thinking it all this time. You just didn't say it. So now, for my subscribers, let me make it all make sense instead of me just going off fire. This is where the real story starts. So, sorry, I have to get my anger out. So when I get back in town, they take a while to get back to me. But when they do, the black girl, the black American girl, she tells me that they can meet, gives me a time, whatever. I knew she was going to be late. And I had a feeling they were going to be busy on, I think it was Saturday it was. So I said, like, oh, I know you all probably have, lessons or whatever. So maybe you guys can't meet on Saturday, blah, blah. And so she messaged me back saying, oh, let's meet at 4 o'clock. Name some cafe that I'd never been to. Louisiana Cafe, whatever that was. Like, does she mean a New Orleans restaurant? Because that's where we normally hang out and eat dinner at. Well, shortly after that happened, and with us rescheduling, I don't even remember what happened first. I messaged them asking if we can meet. And as soon as I did that, Trishelle, the Jamaican bitch, she deleted me from the group chat. And I knew something was wrong right away. So my mind flashed back to the fact, okay, she said happy holidays to everyone inside of the group chat, which I noticed they hadn't been using the group chat in quite some time, which was unusual, which I told you guys on Patreon that I normally ignore that shit anyway, because all they do is bitch about being black in Japan. And I'm like, if y'all hate being black so much, y'all hate light-skinned people so much, y'all hate Japan so much, why the fuck are y'all here? Why do y'all even talk to me? So I'm thinking, like, why are y'all here then? Like, nobody's forcing you all to be here. And let me keep it real with you. Going to Japan ain't gonna help your resume that damn much in the U.S. They don't give two fucks how long you stayed abroad. It don't make that big of a difference. You might as well go back home now. Just keeping it real with you. But whatever. So anyway, my eyes are getting watery. They dry. I need to take out my contacts. But yeah. So anyway, I noticed before all of this stuff happened, the black American girl, she had talked to me maybe a month or two ago, or even longer. It was back when the Olympics started. So back at the end of July, beginning of August. Her and the Jamaican girl got into it. Her and Trishelle. Sorry, you're no longer the Jamaican girl. The black American girl and Trishelle, which I might as well say your name too, because really you set me up and you bogus as hell, bitch. But alright, so the Jamaican girl, they got into a stupid argument about the Olympics because of that Sha'Carri, whatever. Sha'Carri Richardson, what we're finna call her. I don't give a fuck how you say her name. Sha'Carri Richardson. Okay. She joked about how Americans can't stay away from drugs. And the black American girl lost it. Like, she was like, well, actually, we're well versed in the Olympics, blah, blah, blah. We don't just have track or whatever. And so she threw a ton of shade at Jamaica. And so I'm just like, oh, okay. I actually thought that it was funny. I laughed at it. And I'm thinking, like, it's just a joke. Like, look, I'll defend the U.S. on certain situations, but it's like, we all black here. We all friends and work together. And this actually was a little bit of a funny situation. But yeah, it's like, I'm not gonna lie. The Jamaican girl, her little feelings, Trishelle's feelings would have been hurt if we said something like that about Jamaica. The beautiful, wonderful island of Jamaica that does no wrong. She can give you a whole lecture on shit wrong with the U.S., but God forbid you talk about Jamaica, the most developed, beautiful country in the world. So yeah. And my problem isn't just a matter of pitting country against country, but that's the point. The people who have the most effed up countries, the most effed up government, poor situations, etc., they have a shit ton of stuff to say about the U.S. And as an American, you're used to it. You don't really care so much. But it's like, okay, now let me try to critique or criticize your country. Now watch how they react to it though. Then you're in the wrong for saying the truth about theirs. Is Jamaica a rich country? No, it's not. And again, my point wasn't to bash Jamaica or whatever else. Fine, we all black at the end of the day. My point was, you come from a country that is poor. So to act as though you are used to only the best of the best and you're used to all this money and riches is ironic. That is my point. You act like you are deserving of stuff. For example, myself. I'm an American, but I did not come from money. So I don't expect certain things that maybe somebody that legitimately came from money does. My goal is not to end up poor, so I don't want to F around with no broke nigga or nothing. But I'm not going to look at you like I'm too good for this. I can't put my bag on the floor. I can't open up my own case. How am I supposed to return this? I want you to do it, peasant. I don't act like that. I get it, cultural differences, put your bag on the floor, poor, whatever type thing. But it's like, it's not just what you want or what you ask for. It's your tone of voice, the delivery of it, the way you do it. You can ask, oh, can you open up this case for me? And if they say, oh, sorry, we don't do that here. Oh, okay. Really? That's totally understandable. But to get an attitude and go back and forth and say, oh, well, they did it this place, that, and the other. Sorry, sweetheart. That's called being entitled, bitch. Like, what the fuck do you expect me to say about that? Be like, oh, it's just a Jamaican thing. Well, if it is just a Jamaican thing, sorry to break it to you, but it's rude. And so they didn't like my example. They stayed talking about white people. Neither of them liked my example. But I was saying to them, I was like, okay, now if I gave, let's switch the roles. Let's let a white person say the shit that you're saying right now. A white person go to some random African country or go to Jamaica and say, well, in the U.S., I always do things this way. Or in Italy, I always do things this way. It's okay in my culture. Bitch, did you not go through the airport immigration like how the rest of us did and get that fucking stamp in your passport? Wake up, smell the coffee, hoe. Breathe that matcha in. You are not in Jamaica. I am not in the U.S. We don't give zero fucks about what the hell you do in your home country. This ain't your home country, bitch. Like, what's so hard to understand about that? It's called being entitled. We call that ugly American. You are completely oblivious, unaware, don't care what other people think and do. Well, they do things that I consider rude too. Are they in your country? And if they do it in your country, then fine, you can call them out on it too. I don't follow all the rules and do everything perfectly either. But you want to know what? I'm not going to act dumb and stand on my high horse and defend my shit because I'm an American. If we talking about things like the R word, being harmed in some type of way, then fine, I totally agree with you. Yeah, we need to stand up for that type of stuff, like how we do in our home country. But sorry, somebody asking you to not expect staff to act like you're maid when you go shopping? That's an understandable cultural difference where you change your shit. Somebody telling you, hey, I don't know if you mean this or not. I'm being nice and I'm going to assume that you don't. But you have a fucking attitude when you talk to people. And part of it is your damn accent. The way that you talk. You talk in a really dragged out, slurred voice type way. And your mannerisms all flippy and like that. You seem rude. Fuck my opinion. Record what's going all around you, bitch. Ask one of your real friends to record the person that you're talking to secretly. And you will literally see their behavior and mannerisms change once they get to you. She be having them Japanese bitches scared as fuck of her. Got me stuttering over here. So the whole time it's like, oh well, your definition of what's ghetto, what's whatever. It's like, fuck my definition. I'm telling you what's acceptable and normal in Japan. So for example, I got on them about customizing orders. In Japan, you don't do that shit. Some places let you, but you're not supposed to. And a lot of them are used to ghetto foreigners like her doing that shit. So to accommodate you and make you happy, they make little changes. Real Japanese places, they don't change shit. Even if it's like a pickle that they're going to put on top of your sandwich and they can easily just skip that step. Nope. This is what you're paying for. This is what you're getting. You can choose not to eat it. You can take it off. Do whatever you want to. But we're not changing shit. And to be honest, I love that shit. Because goddamn, I'm speaking from my home country. She ain't even American. Americans irritate the fuck out of me. with special orders and requests and add this, take away that. I wouldn't have a problem if everybody was nice about it like how I am. Like when I ask for extra things or to have things taken off, which I never take off things, I always add to it. I ask nicely. But I've worked service jobs. I've worked at Starbucks before, and I know what it's like to have rude bitches like Trishelle. I want extra caramel. This isn't extra caramel. It doesn't taste right. It should be sweeter than that. Nobody wants a customer like that. And for that reason, I wouldn't allow extras for anything. No extra, no takeaway. You don't like it, don't eat here, bitch. Instead of them being like, oh, okay, maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe I should change the way. It's like, well, I'm spending my money, so I'm going to do whatever I want to. Okay, sure, fine, I get it. The restaurant will meet your requests. But if you have even the slightest bit of class, you should kind of feel embarrassed. The staff is literally laughing at you for what you were asking for. I went out to eat with them, and this was actually a foreign restaurant, not American, but it's like some Canadian guy, whatever, that owned this place called Craft Burger in Osaka. The staff was laughing at both of them because they asked to have, it was like a peanut butter shake mixed with some coffee shake or something like that. And they had never done this before. So she had to go to the back, ask her manager if she could do it. And then as they're making it, they're laughing and looking at them, etc. And fine, you might say, oh, well, at least they have balls and care what other people think, etc. Yeah, to one degree. But it's like, do you not realize what you're doing is weird in classes? Like look at it this way. Okay. All of you watching my channel have interest in Japan more than likely. But okay. In your home country, you are aware that slurping food is rude. If you took your Japanese boyfriend, girlfriend, or friend to an Italian restaurant and you see them slurping the spaghetti like a dog, would you not feel secondhand embarrassment? Sure, you're not the person there slurping like an animal, but this is not Japan. You might understand why they're slurping their food, but this is seen as rude, nasty, bad table manners in your country. Okay, that's my point. Let's give another example, because you might say, oh, well, that's eating. All right. How about the way you go about doing things in your day-to-day life, like getting on the train? In Japan, I can push people, I can run in front of them to cut them off. Try that shit in New York or Chicago, you finna get an ass whooping. Okay. You understand that while in your country it's okay to do, you are no longer in your country. You're in the U.S., baby. Your ass finna get beat. You ain't gonna dare put your hands, try to push or shove yourself on no damn train. Because they will push your ass down on them fucking tracks. Okay. You understand cultural difference. In your country, it's not rude. Japanese people understand you're just trying to make the train. You're trying to make space. You ain't finna say excuse me to everybody that you bump into. In the U.S., you better find a time to say excuse me to all 100 of the motherfuckers that you just accidentally pushed. And you might still get an ass whooping after all of that. Cultural difference. Bad manners in the U.S. Not really good manners in Japan, but understandable here. What do you not get? They don't get it. And like I said, if we switched the roles and made it a white person doing that in a black country or a black area, they would love to call the person entitled. They would love to say that they're out of touch, etc. But when you do it, it's, well, it's my money. It's my home country. That's literally the definition of being an ugly American. Well, this is how I'm used to doing things. This is what I'm okay with. This is what we do. Okay, but then don't get mad when I make a YouTube video about how you have bad manners and are being a stereotypical foreigner. Also, don't get mad and bitch about social justice issues or bitch about stereotypes, etc. because both of you all are contributing to them. You don't care. I do stereotypical things too. I'm human. In fact, one of them that I talk about on my channel is I wish I managed my money a lot better. That's a stereotype for black people right there by itself. Okay. I can be real with myself. I'm not going to advocate and defend it and be like, oh, well, what I'm doing is right. It's okay. Everyone does this. Be like me. I see no problem with it. That's the difference between me and you. Ain't nobody saying that I'm perfect on this channel. Where the fuck did you get that shit from? And ain't nobody busy trying to talk about you. The story had to do with me. It was the fact that you were acting entitled while you're with me and embarrassing me. That is why you were a part of that story. You don't want me to call you ghetto? Then don't act ghetto. You want to be bold and talk big and bad? Do it where it really counts. Do it at work. I don't work with you anymore. Tell your white folk how you really feel about them. Stop buying them gifts and kissing ass since you a real bitch. Why you hanging out with motherfuckers that don't like you? Why you sweet talking and buying them shit? Why you hanging out with them? Like, explain that to me. She did all of this ranting and talking about how I could have stabbed her in the back and I could have killed her because she thought that I was really her friend. She saw me as a little sister, but I was talking shit about her online, etc. And I'm like, you literally hang out. She's never bought me a real gift. You buy goodbye gifts, etc. for people that don't like you, that openly don't like you, that don't have your back, that make you go through hell at work. You buy them shit. You hang out with them outside of work. And you don't work for no Japanese company. So it's not even like you have to do it. That's being real? Interesting. You don't even have the balls to defend yourself. Oh, but of course you can easily do it with me, right? Because you feel comfortable with me. Because you know I'm not going to be ghetto and ratchet like you. Right. Okay. Tell your boss how you really feel. You want me to tell them for you? Since, I mean, we're being real here, right? We're being real ass bitches, right? Should I tell your boss's name? Should I say what you've actually said about the people that you work under? Oh, you don't want me to do that, do you? Trishelle. And the reason why I'm dropping your name is since you went on for so long telling me to keep your name out of my mouth. I never said your name, you dumb bitch. You've been known as the Jamaican girl. You want me to tell your name? Trishelle. There we go. I can include your last name too if you want me to. Just tell me. Leave a comment down below. I would love to read it. So I'm thinking to myself like, okay, you're mad at me for telling a conversation that we had that I'm a part of too. Nothing that you said to me was secretive. I'm not telling you actual business. I went to the phone store with you. Or electronics store with you, I should say. I went out to eat with you. I went to a business workshop with you. And that's what really went down. I'm not going to sugarcoat the story and make it sound good for you. Because then I'd be a fucking liar. You had old white girl side. And you took it extremely personal about the JET program. And let me also tell you something real. Since you so dumb. And you busy hanging out with the other American girl who also don't like your ass. Cause I'm going to throw you under too. Because you set me up. You knew what was going on. You didn't tell me shit. American girl who know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to keep it real both of you all. Both of y'all don't like each other. So if you're going to X me off. You need to stop talking to her too then. Because let me keep it real with you. She talked shit about you to me. That's how this whole thing got started. Do you know that after y'all... That's what I was getting at. I got all over the place in my story. When y'all got into it over that Sha'Carri Richardson thing, or really should I say when the American girl got into it herself, because you wasn't even taking it that serious. She immediately... She didn't exit the chat as in like removed herself from the group. But she immediately stopped replying in the chat. Sent me a private message telling me about how and why she wanted to finally start her Blacks in American group. And I'm thinking to myself, like, you can leave me the fuck out of this, because I ain't joining that goddamn group. I got my own YouTube channel. I don't want nothing to do with y'all hoes. And I'm sorry, while I understand, like, the conversation when it comes to topics about things, I'm not so obsessed with Black Americans, or even Black people, where I gotta hang out with them and have a cult with them while I'm in a foreign country. If I want to be around niggas, I'll move back to the U.S. Why the fuck come to Japan if you gotta constantly be around other Black people? I ain't got nothing against Black people. But I'm thinking to myself, like, I'm not that crazy and obsessed with my race where I'm going to move to a foreign country, act cult-like about my race, hate everything about every other race. No, I'm not doing that shit. Have fun. And plus, you claiming that you wanted to leave like 2 years ago, still here. Still claiming you want to leave. Why the fuck you making groups? Bitch, you 30 years old. Petty. I didn't even entertain it. I ignored her message for a long ass time. I just viewed the notification. I was like, yep, another group chat to put on mute. Ignored that shit. Eventually, I got back to it and was like, oh, yeah. You can look at this and do whatever. I was really nonchalant about that shit. I know a lot about making groups. I was like, I ain't saying shit to your ass. Then just recently, like 2 months later, that's when she followed me on Instagram from that account. I knew it was weird because it was like called something like Black American Black something in Japan. And I was like, that has to be her. And she did it in a sneaky way. She didn't tell me that she made the group finally, because she only told me about the idea and she wanted to finally put it into play. Because she had mentioned it to me a long time ago when she got mad at Trishelle, but she never actually did it. But this time it sent her over the edge, and I knew she was planning to do it. But she didn't tell me that she really did it. She follows me on my personal account. Doesn't tell me that she followed me. Doesn't tell me that she made a group. And I knew it was her, but I was like, I'm not gonna block her thing and nothing to hide. But I'm like, okay, as a normal friend, you would tell your friend, hey, I finally went in a group, whatever. Nope. So I knew she was busy trying to lurk. And then I put two and two together. Okay, Trishelle removed me from the group. She gave a fake, phony-ass excuse for how it happened. She was like, oh, I was just playing around and I'm bad with technology. I was like, yeah, I know you bad with technology, old dinosaur, broken ovary-ass bitch. But I ain't no dummy. I know you did that on purpose. The American girl told me shit. Planned to meet with me on Saturday. Then suddenly claimed after I already got there and she stood me up. She was like, oh, I didn't specify what day. I meant to say tomorrow, lying asshole. So fine, I let it go. So I had to meet them tomorrow the next day. On our way to getting there, I realized that I didn't include the Jamaican girl. And while I didn't really want to hang out with her, I really only wanted to see the American girl. I didn't want it to seem obvious that I didn't like her. And I didn't have any real reason not to. But I was like, yeah, whatever, fuck it. Even though she removed from the chat, I was phony and I sent her a message asking her if it would be easier for her to meet us at Umeda Station. Just to do her a favor. Well, it turned out that her and the American girl were already talking to each other. She was already planning to meet us. Because, mind you, the American girl had started messaging me privately outside of the group chat. Because I removed myself from the group chat and I stopped talking to them after they tried to play those little games with me. But, pretending to be testing technology. So, I didn't want to, because I was already at Yotsubashi Station where we normally met at. I went back to Umeda Station, which I knew that the Jamaican girl, Trishelle, only wanted to meet there because she's always fucking late. So I took my time. Went to the bathroom, fixed myself up. I get there. Felt a little bit off, but they were talking to me like normal. We go to Outback Steakhouse. Ate a huge dinner. And when I get to the end of my food, that is when they drop the bombs. Oh, so we saw you have a YouTube channel. And then they still didn't do it the right way. They kind of like looked at each other and hinted like, oh. So the American girl. I'm sorry, I'm gonna keep it real. I'm no longer calling American girls. Capra and Trishelle. Sorry, gotta do it. Capra's the American girl. Trishelle's the Jamaican. Capra tries to nicely mention to me that they've been meaning to talk to me. If they noticed my video about why I left abroad. And so they start off the video talking about how they're concerned about it affecting their ability to work there. Which I understand that to a certain degree. But honestly, it offended me. Because I'm thinking like, I don't say your names. And I made my video to clear my own name because they were spreading false rumors about me. The focus in the video wasn't on what I did as an employee, but rather what they said about me after I left. I already made several videos addressing the situation, but I'll roughly say it in a nutshell again. I quit my job. I wasn't fired. I never got reprimanded. I never got put on leave. I never got suspended. I never got in trouble at work ever, and I was even given a raise at the end of the year and a new contract to sign. I left on my own. Nobody made me leave. It had nothing to do with me asking for or receiving a pay advance. Nothing to do with how I got along with other staff members. I left on my fucking own. That is what happened. However, after I left, to get a form of revenge on me, my bosses started sharing all of my business, and they started lying on me and told an old story about how I had alcohol at work and made it sound like I had a drinking problem. And they even went and told the black girls my business, which thankfully for me, I had already shared these things with them and publicly on YouTube. But I was thinking to myself like, okay, what if I didn't tell them that? Because they didn't know how close I was to them. And as I said to the black girls too, Trishelle and Capra, they never tell the white staff's business to us. Among the staff that owned the school, they were Islamic and Turkish. They didn't tell us what goes on with them. But they love telling business about the black teachers to the white staff. And even about each other. I had no intention of making any video about abroad because I loved my job there. And I'll still say that to right now. It was the best job I ever had. Other than the job I got right now, this job is even better than that. And I didn't think it was possible to have a better job. So anyway, my whole purpose in the video was to defend myself. I'm not going to play dumb. I understand that in one sense I was putting their work at risk, but they can't get rid of them because of me. We're not connected. We're not married to each other. We don't live together. We no longer work together. And it's just my word. My feelings and thoughts about working there don't necessarily reflect theirs. I don't even give my bosses names, even though I had every right to, because they literally lied on me and told my name. But that wasn't my point. I gave the name of the school and that's all that's needed. Well, anyway, the problem that they had was not the fact that I'm defending myself, because they didn't give a fuck about what happened to me. They worried about their own tail. And so I'm thinking to myself, like, how selfish of you. You don't give two fucks about what happens to me when I'm not working there. But I'm supposed to feel sorry and sympathize for the possibility of you losing your job? That situation went down, nearly 2 years ago. And the video has been up for months. Really, I made that video more than a year ago, but I published it publicly on YouTube a few months ago. Been there for months. Get over yourself. You don't care about me and check in on what's going on me in real time, real life right now? Why the fuck am I going to be stressing over and delete something for your sake? And I'm glad that I said that. Because after that story didn't work, because I defended myself good. I explained why I had it, why I needed to defend myself. And she gave a whole story about how I mentioned what happened during the business trip. And about how I was saying that I felt like she didn't have it back. And I'm like, yeah, you didn't. In fact, her siding with old Becky, it made my situation worse. She was crickets, had nothing to say. And I'm like, I'm not going to sit over here and lie to you or lie to the public to make you look good. You didn't have my back and you acted like you made the JET program and you didn't. And this is part of what I was talking about later on when I told you all about that video. I was talking about her being entitled despite coming from a third world country, etc. That is a part of it too. And I didn't say this to her then, but even the other black American girl, Capra, we've both talked about this before. I'm going to keep it real with you. When you come from any African country, any Caribbean country, it does not matter that your first language is English. Same thing for other Asian countries. You are treated like a non-native English speaker by the majority of companies. The JET program is a rare exception where they understand that there are native English speakers in other countries besides the Big Five. The Big Five being the United States, Canada, Australia, the United Kingdom, and New Zealand. Pretty much in general, if you don't come from one of those 5 countries, you are not classified as a native English speaker. Most companies will not hire you. They don't want your accent. It's hard for you to even get visas to a lot of countries. And let's keep it real. We're not going to talk PC on my channel. What are Jamaicans known for? I said this on Patreon. I'm going to keep it real with you. I know I'm going to hurt feelings and step on toes. I don't give a fuck. Drugs, being poor, money laundering, visa scams, etc. You could literally watch 90 Day Fiancé. What do you see going on there? Big fat white girls, blonde hair, blue eyes, desperate, get big black dick, dudes scam the hoe, take their money, send it back to their family type stuff. Okay. There's a reason why people from Jamaica and other various countries want to leave and go to the US and will do anything to get there. Keeping it real with you. Okay, my point was not to shame you from what country you're from or to shame you for not having money or anything else, because hello, I talk about that with myself too. But the point is, I don't go around acting entitled like when I go out in public, people owe me a certain level of service, etc. As long as you talking to me respectfully and not treating me like shit, that's good enough for me. I don't go around acting like you need to accept my custom order, you need to open up stuff for me, you need to give me whatever I request. I don't do that shit. That's what I was getting at. I would be a total hypocrite if I try to talk about money issues. Hello. I have tons of videos on that shit. And so, of course, she completely ignored that and made it sound like I was saying she's from a third world country and she's poor, so she shouldn't, so she doesn't have anything, etc. It's like, that's not what I was saying. Not to mention, sorry, bitch, don't compare yourself to me. Because another reason why you can't compare yourself to me, let me remind you, you were 34 years old and a $1,000 trip, I don't care if you paid $5,000 to go back to Jamaica, set you back for months where your ass was broke. Don't fucking try to come for me and talk about financial shit. You got 10 years on me and a degree that I don't have, a master's, and you still ain't got shit in your life. Bitch, please. Try to talk about how you rich and compare yourself to me, ho. Even if you did have more and better than I do, which you fucking don't. You should. If I had a master's degree and 10 years on myself, shit, I probably would too. Even when you were 34 years old. Can't even keep your credit card. Can't afford one trip out of the country. Couple $1,000s. Girl, bye. Fuck out of here. Talking all that shit. So, anyway. Forgot what I was even getting at with you all. Yeah. So they mentioned all that stuff to me. And after I say that, quiet, crickets, had nothing to say. So then she changes it and starts talking about how I called Capra a coon. And then for that situation, she gave a little bit of backstory to the conversation. So I'm like, I'll keep it real with y'all. I got tons of videos talking about stuff that we talked about, as well as my day-to-day life. And even like for my subscribers and whatnot. Y'all think I can remember all the shit that I've said? I've had hundreds of videos, hours of content, days worth of content. I can't remember every fucking word I said and why I said it. But I did remember that. And so I was like, okay, you're taking what I'm saying out of context with pretty much everything. But with that, you kind of answered it yourself. She had your back and laughed at the comments you were making about Americans. Trishelle says ignorant shit about Americans all the time, always bitching about them, talking about how she had a hard time being the head teacher of them, this, that, and the other. But then this bitch took it personally when I talked about how I don't like Australians because she got a friend of somebody that's Australian. Okay, well, it looks like the majority of your friends, at least right now, are American, and you don't mind talking shit about them. But for some reason, Australia needs to be protected? What? Okay. Make that make sense? She got legitimately angry, and so I had to start censoring myself whenever I was around her. I couldn't bluntly, directly say anything bad about Aussies, because she would take it super personally, like her father or something was Australian, or her mother, I should say. Which I thought was really weird. And so I was like, this reminds me of the same argument that we got into about the JET program. You act like you fucking made it. And so I gave this example before, but it's like, okay, that would be like me getting mad at anybody that says something bad about Starbucks or Walmart because I worked for both companies. In fact, let me give a better example. JCPenney or Old Navy. Both companies treated me like trash, but I wanted to keep both of those jobs. So nobody could say that they didn't like their experience working there. Nobody could say anything bad about it because I worked there before. Is JCPenney my family store or something? Does my family own JCPenney? Do they own Old Navy? No, they fucking don't. I work there. I can separate myself from my job. Even abroad. Even before they did me bogus. If somebody talks shit about working there, which I did hear people talk shit about working there, I can be like, oh wow, I really had a bad experience. I'm not going to sit over there and take it personally and be like, this is my job, I love it. You owe me an apology. That's exactly what's wrong with that white bitch that I got into with Trishelle. I'm thinking like, she said it to me. She was like, she was saying that I owe her an apology. I owe you an apology because I said I don't understand why anybody that's a native English speaker would want to go through the JET program to work in Japan when you can get higher salary, shorter work hours, more flexibility, a better work position than being a fucking ALT. It's the lowest of the low jobs here. Jets get paid a lot of money for doing ALT work, but they don't get paid more money than international school teachers. If you are educated and experienced, you can get more money. That was my fucking point. And what did they take out of it? Got super defensive. And so I'm thinking to myself, and this is what I said to the American girl, yes, easy for you all to get defensive over and say that you don't care and that's not true, because for both of them, they didn't give two fucks about Japan. The white girl, she spent 10 years in Korea and was just here for the fun of it, I guess, to round off her trip and go back to the U.S. with all this experience or whatever, and I guess in her whatever miserable life here. And the Jamaican girl, same thing. She was here because she can't go to the U.S. right now. Wanted to make her resume look good. Probably seemed good to go to Japan. Wasted her 20s, wasted her 30s, now she pushing 40. That's what happened. And so they were arguing me both about joining the JET program and then my reasons, which made it even worse for them. I was talking about how a lot of people are unhappy on the JET program because they get placed in the middle of nowhere. It's easy to like it when you get placed in a city that you like, where there's lots of people, and when you're outgoing, and when you can speak Japanese. But the majority of people that get placed in the program end up in the middle of nowhere. They put JETs in places that nobody wants to work. That's why they can pay all that much money. That's why people fucking quit the program. ALTs are known for not lasting even a year. And when they do, they last 1 year and leave. Just like people that work at Eikaiwas. Both of them took it personally. I'm an English teacher too. You want to know what people first do? They freak out when they find out that I've been here for nearly 5 years. They're like, oh my God, really? Why is it a surprise? Because normally foreigners don't stay here that long. They quit. It fucking sucks working here. The pay is trash. That's the point. I don't have to take it personally and be like, well, I've been here for X amount of years. You owe me an apology. Don't be surprised about me being here. You ain't got to take everything personally. Somebody just messaged me. They both got their panties in a bunch and lost their shit. And then they kept trying to think about their own experience and their friends. And I'm like, you and your friends are not everybody in the JET program. And that's where her being Jamaican came into it too. Because I'm like, I'm going to keep it real with you. You don't have all the options of where you can work in Japan. So of course you like any job they give you. That's why your nationality did matter. Not going to speak to you in PC terms. Sorry, I got a lot of messages, but so yeah, we ended up going back and forth. It was so ghetto because the staff was looking and trying not to laugh. The people inside the restaurant were looking because they can clearly see she's upset. She's literally like she on Housewives. She's clapping everything. Keep my name out your fucking mouth. Don't say anything about my name. You could have killed me. You're dead to me. You're dead to me. Just saying it back and back over and over again, standing up, everything. And even when the staff was coming over to give us bills, this bitch still going. And I'm thinking like, Trishelle, stop. Trishelle, stop. And I'm explaining myself and everything. She was super focused on the words that I said. And I'm like, okay, you're being ghetto right now, which is proving my point. Doing all this clapping, you're dead to me, etc. That proved my point. You can't speak Japanese, and you have been here for now over 10 years. That proved my point. And I'm not even talking about fluently. I mean anything. Because I'd be a damn liar try to pretend like I'm completely fluent in Japanese something, because I ain't. Can't even read hiragana and katakana. 10 plus years? Can't even use chopsticks. And sorry, but Capra, you too. Y'all been here. At least she can speak, Portuguese or whatever, allegedly. But I'm thinking, like, I'm sorry, being in Japan for now, 3 years, 2 years, however long, you still can't use chopsticks? Whatever. Like, that's just the basic of it. And that gives you an idea of how their brains go. They have zero interest in assimilating. So that's my point. Y'all want to be done? Y'all want to X me out? Then Trishelle, if you so big and bad, stop talking to Capra too, because she's not really your friend. She's not. She talks shit about you to me, just in a nice, professional way. The whole reason why she made that Black American group was because she called herself mad at you. She wanted to have her own separate space for that reason. Y'all literally, your whole friendship with each other is based on your blackness. And that's what I made a video about too. It's fucking stupid. That's one thing I'll never understand about black people. Sorry, white people, y'all don't get this. But man, black people act like you in a cult. That's one thing I hate about niggas. Man, if you don't want to be friends with every black person, you become every black person's enemy. You can never be alone. As a black person, you gotta be friends with all the other black people. Otherwise, you gotta spend the rest of your life proving that you're not trying to be a token. And that's exactly what it was like hanging out with them. I loved hanging out with them because we'd have good conversations. And it's good to be around other black people who can relate to stuff, etc. There's good things about it. But then it's like at the same time, then you have the other flip side of it. When I hang out with them, I literally feel like I'm the coon. I'm the sellout. Because they be having these super deep conversations about what makes you black and who's not black, and hating on people in mixed race relationships, and hating on racially ambiguous people, and all of these little stupid conversations. And so They're deep and I enjoy them, etc. But they gang up on each other and agree. And that's exactly why I make my YouTube videos about what I do. I talk in further detail about what I wanted to say, my side of the story that didn't get heard, because they both team up and agree with each other. That's exactly the purpose in it. They made it seem like I was living this completely double life with just trash talking them. And it's like, I'm talking about the topic and my stance on the topic. Ain't nobody making videos about y'all personal life or something. Y'all life more boring than mine. So I ain't got shit to say about y'all personal life because I don't care about it. Everything I've ever made a video on came back to have to do with me. I never made a video just talking about you. Didn't even give y'all name at the time. But they were so phony. They couldn't even tell me why they wanted to meet me. They couldn't even tell me that they purposely deleted me from the chat. They couldn't tell me the real issue with the videos until near the end of our meeting. Because at first they made it sound like they were just bothered about their job. Then it went from, concerned about work, trying to basically call me out and say, oh, like, you're fake or whatever, you're this, that, and the other. I'm thinking, look, I'm going to be real with you, Trishelle. I may not have ever told you directly, but everything that I said has already been said to Capra before. I've had a whole conversation with her before about how you come off as being rude and how you act entitled. She used to stand beside my door at my old place when I was living in Osaka, since we want to talk about being real. Let me tell you about what me and Capra talk about. Stand in the doorway, talk about how you can't understand certain things, you're Jamaican, you come from, majority black country, whatever. And let me just give you an idea. Since you're dumb enough to be a Trump supporter too, just like a Capra is, and I don't hate Trump either. Part of her agreement with him is his stance on immigration in countries like that, which would include not including people like you. I'ma just leave it at that. I'm not gonna add words in the Capra's mouth because she ain't say that. But I'm thinking like the whole reason why she wants this stuff is because she calls herself mad at you. She says shit about you too. She don't make a YouTube video about it, but she talked to me about it. And not to mention, you tell my business too to people that ain't got nothing to do with it. You think I'm a dummy? When I quit my job, when bad things happen between me and you, because we got into our little, we've gotten into it before, but it's always been like passive beef, if you will, when we have disagreements. Because she would take things personally and clearly be irritated and bothered. And then she'll get over by the time we hang out again next time. But I'm thinking like, you'd be a damn lie if you pretend like you ain't never told your family shit about me. They know my business too, and I know you've talked shit about me to your family. So I'm trying to fucking act like you ain't never said a bad thing about me. You were so loving and cared about me so much. Bitch, please. Because if we're going to keep anger and, do whatever, then I should be mad at you. Because she had me looking stupid. I took Trishelle's advice, the Jamaican bitch, when I left my job at abroad to try to get it back. She had suggested that I message, what did they call it, the head teacher, whatever, at the time, who was really her boss she reported to. And all I did was stir the pot even more and make things worse. But I didn't take it personally. I thought in my mind that Trishelle meant well. So I didn't take it personally. But to be honest, I wish I'd never taken your advice. Because all I did was fuck up my situation more and let somebody that I wasn't close to, didn't need to report to, know all of my business and go back and tell everybody else. So if you want to talk about, feeling somebody fake or backstab you or betray you, whatever, I should say that. Because I'm pretty sure your ass knew that wasn't going to help. Oh. But the whole thing was just ironic. I'm thinking, like, to set the record straight, to just clarify everything. My videos were not about you. It's about conversation that we had that dealt with you being in it. And I talk about my role in the conversation and my stance on it. I don't just make videos like, oh, this girl's stupid, she's been an X amount of time. No. It was the fact that you have an attitude, you're rude, you're coming off as entitled, and you're demanding stuff. Despite the fact that you've been there for X amount of time. Despite the fact this is not your home country. And despite the fact that I went out of my way to try to help you. And you seem pissed off and angry at me. And that you're giving me secondhand embarrassment because I'm with you. So it's making the staff view me as being rude because you're being rude. That was my point. Not a matter of money. But since we want to talk about money and you want to shove passbooks in people's face and pretend like you're rich, you can't even lay a fucking wig. Your wigs are cheap, $10, natted up shit that you got from Wish. You're rich. You were in need of money. Too much pride to ask for it. You're rich. You live nearly an hour away from work when I include the time it takes for you to walk from one train to the next train, waiting on trains and getting there. Rich people can afford to live close to their job. Rich people don't live in fucking Amagasaki. Get the fuck out of here. Rich people don't work for a job paying them pennies after years of working there. Rich people can move to the US when they want to. I'm here because I want to be, because I like Japan. Why are you here? You're rich, right, Trishelle? Oh. Then the funnier part was, since she realized that she couldn't win the argument of talking about what was wrong about me making my videos, etc., she went from randomly, because mind you, I didn't say anything bad about her like that. All I said was, sorry, you're 35 years old. You bitching and complaining, talking about shit about white people, Asian people, etc. You're sour, you're angry, everything else. Always complaining about having kids, married, etc. Acting ghetto here. But you're still here. That's why your age mattered. You have all of these, and that was another part of it too. Not just the fact that you act like people should serve you, but you have all of these high expectations for what you want inside of a man. And I'm going to tell you the truth, girl. I'm going to be real with you. I really don't think you're ugly. You're not. I don't have to lie to you like how you tried to do with me. You're not. I'm not going to lie to you. You ain't my cup of tea. I don't think you're beautiful. But I could definitely see another black guy thinking that you're cute. I can see that happening. But I'm going to keep it real with you. We ain't talking about other black guys. This is Japan. You're tall. You look masculine. You have a horse face. You have super huge gums. You're bald-headed. Your personality sucks. There. Don't try to come for me. The bitch tried to come in my weight. She was like, oh, like, have you looked in the mirror? Have you seen your stomach? You look, you're 45. I look like I'm 45 to who? To your old crusty ass? That's the best comeback you can come with? Not to mention, sweetheart, let's not talk about weights and definitely not stomachs. You just had yours cut the fuck open. Because you got cancers and shit inside your ovaries. Like, girl, get out of here with this shit. You just got through getting tumors and shit removed out of your ovaries. And had your shit sliced up. Don't fucking dare try to come at me about myself and what my body look like. Bitch, please. My body all up and down over Instagram. And I can be completely honest with you. Yep, I do want to lose some weight. And I am a little bit overweight. And I'm cool with that. Guess what? Still get more niggas than you. You can't pull a nigga from anywhere, from any country. Don't nobody want your old, tall, ugly, big gum, nasty old, natted up, nappy wig having ass. You've been here for 10 plus years and fucking I left Osaka. One less bad bitch around. You still can't get a man. Get the fuck out of here. Don't try to talk about looks. You can't even compete with me. She was literally just kissing my ass like the last month. Talking about how Jamaican men be all over me. These are her own words. Because I'm light skinned and I have wash and go hair and I'm thick and I'm short. You said this yourself, bitch. You were just saying that. And then suddenly, I'm fat. I need to look in the mirror because I'm ugly. I didn't even say nothing about it. She randomly pulled this stuff out. And that's how you know you win in the argument. When the argument gets off of the topic and they start talking and attacking you. I didn't say shit about this heifer. She took it there. You want to talk about looks? You might want to sit that shit out, bitch. Well, don't try to compete with me in the looks department. Like I said, I ain't gotta lie like you. I don't believe you're ugly, and I can definitely see other people seeing you as being beautiful to someone else. But fuck my opinion. Let's talk about where we are right now. You don't even compete with me. She tried to say, oh, yeah, you're a hoe. You get men because you're on Tinder, you're on Pairs, whatever. Bitch, you signed up for both. And you ain't pulled no nigga. The only man this bitch got was some poor African dude whom she was scamming money out of. If she's telling the truth in that story. She was claiming she was dating some African dude that claimed to have been some soccer player, technically here on a semi-illegal visa. But then in the same breath, this bitch was trying to get on me and trying to make it seem like I'm some gold-digging whore using men, etc. and sleeping with people for money. And it's like, that's definitely not the case. And on top of that, even if that were, which is not true, you are living with the guy too and taking his check. And he's not rich. Remember, you're rich. So if you have money, why are you taking money from some other man that got less than you? Not only that, you admitted that the guy that, the soccer player, she was taking his check every month like she's his wife. You admitted that you had no interest in marrying him because he ain't got no money. So what do you call that? Fucking around with somebody you have no intention of marrying. Right, you a hoe too, bitch. I only date people I would consider marrying. And they're not relationships. It's called dating. And unlike you, I'm okay with walking away from people and shit. Which is why I've dated so many people. Not a matter of being a hoe. I know how to walk away and how to say no. I make money off of telling people how to do this shit too. Something that you can't relate to. I'm not desperate to the point where I have to hold on to prove to people that I can keep a man for more than a month. I don't give two fucks about that. Girl, read my DMs. I got niggas that will suck my pussy in my sleep for free. I ain't gotta prove shit to your little bald-headed ass. Get the fuck out of here. All I see is a ton of insecurities in your ass. So then you have to go from that, try to talk about how, well, at least her pussy gonna be tight, except I'm like, that's not even how sex work, bitch. I don't have to lie about how many people I've been with like how you do. I've had sex with well over 2 or 3 people. And you wanna know what? Shit's still tight, still wet, and I can still get any man that you can't and can run circles around your bitch ass. Have men from every country line up, and they gonna choose me over your bitch ass every fucking time. Don't compete with me. You can't, bitch. Don't fucking try. It ain't got shit to do with color complexions. You ain't cuter than me, and I ain't even the best looking girl. You don't compare to me, bitch. You're not even feminine. She has higher expectations than I do. She always talking about how she want. Even when I've talked about the guys that I've dated, it's not a high enough salary for her. Always talking about wanting rich guys, and you want them to be tall and handsome, and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, what man would want a bum ass bitch like you? You can't cook, you can't dance, you can't wear makeup, you can't dress nice, you can't do your hair nice. And let me also set your ass straight. You know the real reason why you can't get English students? Because you ugly as fuck, bitch. That got shit to do with you being dark skinned or you being black. You can't get students because you fucking ugly. They'd rather have a pretty bitch teach them English. That's the truth. And you charge too much to be that damn ugly. Horse looking asshole. Fuck out of here. You want me to be honest with you? I'll be honest with you then, bitch. Then on top of that, same thing goes for getting a man. Look at yourself. You look masculine. You don't cook. You don't clean. You don't wear makeup. You don't do your hair nice. This is another example for Tyler. Y'all want to hear entitled? You want to hear entitled, Trishelle? This bitch went on a date with a guy who claimed to be a doctor, and I'm pretty sure that's the only reason she went on a date with him, because he claimed to have been a doctor. She didn't need to hear nothing else. Then she got upset because the dude, I think he showed up late or something, didn't have a gift for her. Dudes come to dates with gifts now? The fuck? I'm actually considered as beautiful here in Japan. I'm like, yo, bitch ass. I never had no nigga give me no gift on the very first fucking date. Second date, yeah. But even then, it wasn't expected. Girl, you gotta be glad he even bought you shit with your ugly ass. The fuck out of here. But okay, I'm sorry. Let me be fair. With your average to, depending on the guy, beautiful self. Which again, I'll be honest, you're not legitimately ugly. To me, I would say that you're cute to average looking. If you actually made some effort to take care of yourself. You deduct a hell of a lot of points just from your nasty stank booty attitude. And I'm gonna keep it real with you. Your height. I ain't even got a perfect smile, but I ain't got no big old gums. You smile 90% gum. Your nasty attitude don't help it. Keeping it real with you. And this coming from me with unperfect teeth. I got a gap. Don't look nasty like your shit. Your smile is not cute. Your attitude not cute. You don't dress cute. You don't act feminine. You're tall like a man. What dude want to date you? You've been here for 10 years. You can't find a single fucking boyfriend. You had one nigga. And guess what? He was broke and using you. And your stupid ass didn't even realize it. This bitch had the nerves to ask me for advice. What was it, a year ago, whatever? He lied to her. In the middle of the night. Was claiming that the police were on him. And that he owed money for something. And he was going to go to jail. She didn't give him the money for it. And I'm like, you've been here for 10 years. Are you that fucking ignorant of the law? You don't know how that works? This is coming from me. And I said this to her. I was like, this is coming from me. I know how it works. You owe people money. Because I've owed everybody money before. They can't do shit about it. He's not going to jail for owing money. and not randomly in the middle of the night. He's scamming you, dumb bitch. What did she do after that? Oh, well, he really needs somewhere to stay, so he asked if he could stay with me till he could find a job for a few months. Girl, just fucking say it. You old as hell. You want to have a baby. Nobody wants your bitch ass, so you keep taking this bum ass pookie nigga back. That's what's going on. You are not that fucking retarded where you can't tell that this dude is using you. But apparently she is, because remember, she's so intelligent. She's so rich. Trishelle is so beautiful. You ain't got no damn brains and no fucking beauty, hoe. So, oh my god. And then you want to try to come for me and talk about me and my shit? Girl, I know how to walk away from dumb, broke niggas unlike you. She's so damn desperate. Anytime we even see a black guy, she don't know how to ignore people. Gotta talk to every single dude you see. You just love the attention. You wanna know what happens when you're truly beautiful like how I am? You ain't fazed by niggas saying hi to you, calling you cute, buying you a drink or whatever, because you're used to the shit. But you're not. And I really should be throwing Capra inside of here too, because really the part that made me upset, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't have no real problem with you overall. I'm really more upset that you would set me up like that. Because it's so ironic that you sat there, you ain't gonna say shit, didn't try to defuse the situation, didn't try to intervene. I get it why you'd be a little upset too, especially after watching the video, me calling you a coon or whatever. But it's like, okay, if we're gonna talk about the names by itself and not the reason why it was said, then like I said, of course, I'm the monster and the bad guy. But I said that because here you are, you're with Trishelle, who's a Jamaican. She's talking shit about our people, Americans. And you're just sitting there laughing at it and agreeing with it. But then in the same breath, if you were to do that about Jamaicans, she would lose her shit on you. How do you not see the issue with that? I said it figuratively, just like how I refer to myself as a hoe. I don't even call my subscribers hoes, etc. And there's some sensitive ass pussies out there nowadays that get offended by that stuff. Wasn't no whatever, malicious, whatever you want to call it, intent behind that. I was angry, speak my mind, and talk about the irony of the whole situation. If I really hated y'all asses, I wouldn't be hanging out with you. And since I made those videos, I even made videos talking about how I changed my stance on you all because of how much both of you have helped me, both financially and mentally, with hanging out with me when I was feeling at my lowest. But since both of you all want to set me up and try to come for me, well then fine, I'm letting y'all have it right now. Like I said, if both of you all were smart, you would stop hanging out with each other, because both of you are two-faced it. Y'all both talk shit about each other to me. Well, Trishelle don't want to talk anything about you to me. But Capra, you talk shit about me, and you talk shit about Trishelle to me. So how you gonna sit there and be shaking your head and just kind of sitting there like, oh, I'm not gonna be a part of this? It reminded me of the same situation during the JET program thing. How she also didn't have my back and tried to, I know she wasn't a part of the conversation, but she made no attempt to, break it up. She was like, well, doesn't involve me. I'm just gonna sit here and watch and be like, oh, juicy, tell my mom and dad. Which is cool. But I can't call that a friend. Because if I were in your position, I'd be trying to be like, hey, we're all friends. Or at least you two are my friends separately. I don't want to see you fighting. Nope. For her, it was like, you go and handle your own business. Which is cool. But don't expect me my friend after that shit. She had the nerve to act shocked that I don't want to be friends or hang out with her anymore. I'm like, why would I be friends with you when you knew I was being set up and you let it fucking happen? And I'm going to keep it real. I could be wrong, but this is what my brain tell me. I believe Capra went out to make that Blacks in Japan group, Black Americans in Japan group, came across my stuff accidentally while looking for Black Americans, because I have my videos tagged with Black American. She came across me with surprise, watched my stuff, and then went back, told Trishelle, who then watched my stuff. Then they both decided to be upset with me, both decided to set me up. That is what happened. Because otherwise, what's the irony of both of you finding my stuff at the same time? Both of you having the same thing say, getting upset, the whole thing. And I feel like there wasn't shit to hide. If I really wanted it to be hidden, I wouldn't put it on YouTube. It'd be on Patreon. And I say in my videos how, they're going to find my stuff eventually. I don't give a fuck. I'm telling you what my feelings were about the conversation in the moment. Tell me that I fucking lied. Where did I lie, bitch? Where did I lie? Everything that I said was fucking true. It's all events that really happened. My side of the story. What I felt. What I was thinking. I talked about graduation. I felt like Capra had set me up. She was motivating me and encouraging me to speak up my mind, say what I wanted to say, etc. Then we get there and she's quiet as a mouse. Ain't got shit to say. Then have the audacity to message me afterwards. Ren, you seemed a bit upset. Are you okay? I made a video about that. I was completely honest. And then I even told her about it that day, since I knew it was going to be the last day we going to hang out. And you can watch that too. Run me my money. Give me my ad revenue, hoes. the problems that I had with Trishelle. When we had that day, maybe Capra might not remember, I told her about it. The last time I hung out with them before. When Trishelle was being goofy and running off of my fan, I was hot and I was pissed off. I told Capra how Trishelle pissed me off and how she does little things like that makes me angry. She didn't even go back and tell Trishelle. So I'll give her props. She can keep secrets and be quiet when she wants to be. But she ain't gonna throw herself under the bus too to save you. Nope. She ain't say shit like she ain't ever said a damn thing about Trishelle in her life. The whole reason why she found that stuff was because she called herself mad at Trishelle. That was the whole purpose in it. Both of them dumb as fuck. They both in their 30s crying about one of the man, etc. But it's like, okay, neither of y'all do the bare minimum to get one. Both of y'all don't wear makeup. Both of y'all don't like to dress nice. This coming from me. I literally wear the same bummy leggings and athletic jacket every day. But y'all see my clothes. I'll change my clothes on Instagram and YouTube when I feel like it. And I don't go out on dates like that. But it's like, y'all make zero effort to attract a man, then cry about not being able to get a man. Then you both hate Asian men, say super racist stuff about them all the time for no reason. But if the Asian man would have said stuff about you all, for example, they were literally taking pictures of them on trains and calling them feminine, this, that, and the other. And it's okay, don't get me wrong, I hear what you're saying. But what if the Japanese dude took a picture of you and talked about how fat, how bald-headed, how ugly black women were? Would that be okay? Because it'd be fair game. Both of y'all bald-headed. Forget my standards and my opinions. Both of y'all ugly by Japanese standards. Both of y'all don't know how to dress nice. Both of y'all can't lay a wig for shit. And look, it's coming from me. Y'all have y'all whole lives being bald-headed. I'm new to this game. This is me after work. My hair fucked up. Still look better than y'all shit. Forget about me comparing myself to you. I'm just telling you the irony in what y'all did. These are the same people that would be crying and bitching about a white or Asian person doing it. But they don't see it when they do it. Interesting. Why come here in the first place then? Or better yet, why stay here? You've had more than enough time to leave. Nothing's going to change with either of you all. Unless you lower your standards to rock bottom zero and accept any man, if you can even get that, you're not going to get married. You're not having no baby here. It's not going to help your resume as much as you're thinking. You're not going to lose weight eating American food after work every day. And this is coming from me, because shit, I done gained weight too. I'm not trying to get in you. I'm just being real. And like I said, it's coming from my fat broke ass. I'm just being real with you. Also dumb as fuck to have no friends, and then the few people that you do have to call work friends, whatever the fuck you want to call it, you're mad at me and trying to make it seem like I'm, this fake person, whatever, because I shared conversation that involved me, my side of the story, telling what I wanted to say in further detail because you two don't agree with me. For example, topics on race. They love talking about how, being mixed race ain't black, and think to have their own category, and you can't be speaking on black issues if you, marry outside of your race, because they were talking about how you compromise yourself by doing. I made a video about that. Oh, if I speak on those things, I'm bad, I'm fake, I'm phony. For telling people that I disagree with this topic that we had a conversation on? What? How am I sharing your business? This is mine too. I have the right to talk about that. I'm not talking about y'all family, personal life issues on YouTube. Everything that I've said had to do with me. You were a part of my conversation. I've never shared personal things about y'all personal issues at home. Or body odors, which I can get into some of that stuff too. But we're going to leave that type of stuff alone. Didn't even drop names until now. You're not finna embarrass me trying to make a fool out of me in public, girl. I can do the same thing right back. Do not play me. I can talk nicely, but I can be a bitch and I can get on ratchet right there with me. I didn't want to do this. This is literally doing exactly what the white staff would want, is to see all of us fighting. I'm literally buying into the game. But she tried to act all hard and be like, oh, make a video. I'm like, yep, like you literally just encouraged me to do exactly what your whole argument was about you not wanting me to do. You literally just encouraged it, you fucking fool. You gonna act hard, pretend like you don't mind me doing it. Like, no, you do. You're mad caught up in a moment, like most ghetto, ratchet, third world bitches. You're not thinking long term. All you did was put the nail in the coffin for me. Because now this shit finna fucking stay there. You worried about your job? Oh, you should really be scared now. Now I done actually said your name. So, coward and stupid. Couldn't even after you met me in person, you were afraid to be honest with me and confront me directly. You tried to, scoot around it, not directly say it, because you were fucking scared of me. You had to work up the courage and get the balls to do it. Keep that same energy with your white coworkers, whose feet you fucking lick and toes you suck at night, because you ain't got the ability to tell them that you know the shit they say about you. Then you see how bogus they do you. Over there buying gifts and spending money on them motherfuckers. Calling yourself rich. Can't even afford to avoid going broke. Get busted after one fucking plane ticket. Don't compare yourself to me, ho. You got 10 years on me and a degree that I don't fucking have. You should be better off than me. You should have more money than me. You should be rich. Been there for 10 damn years. I can't do shit. Can't read, can't write, can't hold a fucking pair of chopsticks, don't know nothing about Japanese culture. And the funniest thing of both of them is, they think that because they've been allowed to do stuff, like nobody stopped them, that it's okay. That's their way of understanding shit. That shows how fucking dumb they are. So, like, for example, for her, she's like, well, I've customized this all the time, or I've worn this before, nobody ever corrected me. Oh my god. Yeah, that's why I need to watch my actual videos instead of talking shit. Sorry to break it to you, but just because somebody doesn't stop you from doing something doesn't mean it's okay. That's a sign of real friends versus fake. She could talk about she got real Japanese friends. Like, no. If they were really your real Japanese friends, they would tell you it's not appropriate to look like you're gothic at somebody's funeral. It's not appropriate to make custom orders in a place where you don't see anybody else doing it. Everybody else is ordering exactly how it comes. There's a lot of shit you do that's not appropriate to do, but it's also Japanese culture to not be rude and directly, bluntly tell you, hey, don't do this, don't say that, don't whatever. They hope that you have enough brains and you have the eyes in your head to read the room, see what's going on, and be like, oh, maybe I shouldn't fucking do that. But nope, that would make too much sense for you guys, because you're ghetto and ratchet, right, Trishelle? And instead in their minds, oh, like, this is your opinion. This is what you think is good. This is what you think, whatever. It's like, no, fuck my opinion. I'm talking about Japan. I used to do custom orders too. When I would go to McDonald's, I used to like adding bacon to my food. I would get like a bacon on my, quarter pounder with cheese, things like that. Small stuff. You want to know what I stopped doing? Making custom orders. If it's allowed at the place that I go, yes, I will do it. But if it's not explicitly shown that it's allowed, I don't ask for custom extra whatever shit, because I know it's a stereotype. I know that it's normally not allowed. And I know that if they do it, it's seen as kind of rude, it's inconvenient, it's strange. You are not a tourist. You live here. Act like it. Simple. I don't understand what's so hard about that. And fine, if you're not going to do it, then that's cool too. But then don't complain and bitch about white people or Asian people doing rude, inconsiderate, culture appropriate, whatever you want to call it type stuff, because you don't even respect the country and culture that you're residing in right now, that you've been in for years. And both of y'all got 5+ years on me, so don't play stupid. I'm not even gonna go into all of that shit, so I can go so much further. So I'm already going, making it into a 2-hour video. My whole point is, Trishelle, you ain't got money. Quit capping, try to pretend like you rich, girl. At least get an expensive wig, a decent wig, a $100 wig that ain't synthetic, for starts. That did not come from Wish. Buy a real wig before you try to talk about money. Secondly, if you are going to drop me, which I'm already not friends with you anyway, since we're playing childish elementary games, I'm not your friend anymore. Maybe you should use your brain and realize, maybe Capra's not really my friend either. Why do you think she made that group? Why do you think she was able to tell you about my YouTube channel? Tell you about that shit? Never thought about that, did you? Why do you think I liked Capra more than you? Since you kept saying that, oh, well, you only made a couple videos about her, but everything else about me. Maybe because you're the one who I'm always arguing with and disagreeing with, and who's the most stubborn one out of the two. Because I disagree with Capra too. She's a Jehovah's Witness, and I'm going to be real say it here. They annoy the shit out of me. I hate Jehovah's Witness. But I liked her. Use your brain. Put 2 and 2 together. There's a reason why. Didn't think that far, did you? Why did I like her more than you? Why didn't I say a lot of stuff about her? Oh, maybe it's because we both mutually felt the same way about you. And while of course she'll never say that because she wants to save her friendship with you, yes, she bitched about you to me too. She didn't make a YouTube channel about it because she's more on the shy side. But she talked her shit too. You realize how dumb that would be, right? Because that's your only friend. You'd be a fool to lose her. She's all you have. And that's the only reason why y'all talk to each other, because both of y'all don't like each other's guts. You're friends with each other because you have to be. You're polar opposites. Y'all ain't got shit in common. If y'all were to be living together in the U.S., you would never eat together. And that's how I felt about you, Trishelle. Like, at least for Cap, I'm not gonna lie. I can see her being my friend in real life before all of this shit. But Trishelle, nope, you literally reminded me. And it's so funny because you're the same age as my older sister too, my oldest, Talisa. Y'all the exact same age, same year. You're just a few months older than her. She's October, you're June. It was hilarious to me. And it's funny the way that we fell out too, because it actually reminded me of how I stopped talking to her as well. So, even though it's completely different reasoning, but it just gave me flashbacks. That your whole crazy personality thing when you got all ratchet and ghetto reminded me of her. So, then that too, it's like you literally proved my point. She acted like she was so worked up about being, talking about third world country, ghetto, etc. It's like you literally proved my point. You have zero class. You're in a public place at a restaurant. You're a teacher. And you work in the city. At least I'm not in the city anymore. That was supposed to be my last day. Ended up staying a few days afterwards because I was still having trouble finding somebody to move my stuff. And then you have the audacity to try to, read me, to filter whatever, try to talk about my crap. Oh, you tell your business or whatever, and talking about how, I don't pay people back and blah, blah, and talking about how, money. It's like, bitch, you gave me $100, not $1 million. And you told me I could have it, which is why you didn't get it back. As far as rent goes, do you own property? No. And I already talked about that stuff on YouTube. That's public knowledge. I talked about the fact that I didn't pay my rent. I talked about how I ended up all my situations, and guess what? Everything that I didn't do is 1, public knowledge on YouTube. 2, I get paid for telling my business. So you put on the whole circus show in public for free. I don't do that shit. When I tell my business, I help, encourage, and inspire others, and I make money off of it. So that when clowns and goofy hoes like you want to talk shit, doesn't matter. I'm making money off of your hate. You going off and going crazy only made you look stupid because I wasn't matching you. And on top of that, now you just encouraged me to tell you everything that I really want to say that I didn't say in the video before. And I'm going to make ad revenue on this too. So thanks, bitch. You fucking stupid. 10 years older, 10 years dumber. So, yep, it's whatever. It's a shame that it had to end the way that it did. But to be honest, I feel like it's mostly good because I finally got to be a real bitch like you, Trishelle. I finally got to say everything that I wanted to say. And please don't ever walk away from this thinking that you're hard or you're real or anything else. Because if you were, you would have said what you really felt. All it took was for you to get upset about that, for you to go off me and try to talk about me. So that means that deep down inside, you really didn't like me either. Because I wasn't even talking about you. You went from talking about how, you felt like I shouldn't have made a video on this, shouldn't have done whatever, to then trying to directly hurl insults at me. Shows you were losing the argument within itself. So, you dumb as fuck. You think Capra really your friend? Capra, you bogus as fuck for going along with that, try to set me up too. And like I said, I'm not going to play dumb. I understand to a certain degree why you all wanted the video to be taken down. I get that. But it's the way that you went about it. I even understand how you might feel about me talking about the conversation on YouTube. But it's what we talked about. And that's the whole purpose. And I always saw my journals talking about why I make them, what they're for, what the topic was. Ain't nobody say shit personal about you all. Y'all talk shit about me all the time to your family, to each other when I'm not around. I'm not dumb. But I can't do it. Okay. Whatever. So, that's it. I can go on and on talking. I already made a 2-hour reading this. You ain't worth any more time than that. I'm through. You want to go back and forth with me? Feel free to leave a comment down below, and we can keep it here. But I want to say we can keep it here. I'll make another video then, because I see, I'm like you. I don't act ghetto for free. I'll do it for money. So, and I'm like you. I don't have to lie and make up shit. See, you tried to call me ugly, say I look old, this, that, and the other. I don't have to lie, bitch. I can speak facts. With your cut up stomach and fucked up ovaries, please do not talk about looking old. Please do not talk about stomach specifically. Sorry, I'm dropping shit. She specifically tried to talk about my stomach, which is like, Nothing wrong with my stomach. The fuck you getting at? Like, well, why are you looking at my shit to begin with? But I'm like, okay, like, didn't you just get through getting your shit sliced up and you were just, like, literally that night even, she was just talking about she didn't want to go to the beach because her shit got sliced up. And I'm thinking, like, your stomach just got cut into to have surgery done. You might want to avoid the topic of stomachs. Like, everything she said was hypocritical. Talking about stomachs when yours is sliced up. Talking about not being able to keep a man when you can't even fucking get a man to begin with. What? Talking about using men for money and being a hoe when you literally just told a story about how you were shacked up with the dude who makes no money here on an illegal visa that you don't mind fucking around with, but that you won't marry because he's not rich enough for you. Interesting. Like, literally everything she was saying to me was hypocritical. Talking about being rich, can't even afford a real wig. Can't even lay down one. What? I really like to understand your logic, your way of thinking. Then the irony, like I said, you worried about being backstabbed and trust people right in front of you. You got a bitch right under your nose, Capra, who you ain't finna get rid of because she's the last one that you got. She's fake too. If I'm fake, then so is she. Because who do you think who the fuck do you think I was talking to about this stuff? Even after we left that night. Why did Capra stay there and continue talking to me? You think she was just sitting there and listening? She agreeing with the shit and then run right back to you and act like she your best friend. Both of y'all dumb as fuck. And that's exactly why I said I don't consider y'all to be friends. You're work friends. That's exactly how y'all stayed. And I'm glad that I kept it that way. So I'm not gonna lie. I felt like I was potentially getting closer to you all. I talked about it even on Instagram. But I'm glad that this was my wake-up call to remind me, nope, you're not really my friend. I always knew there was something a little bit off, but that's all I needed. Real friends can talk to you and confront you face to face. They can talk to you with dignity, respect. They don't set you up mean girl style at a restaurant, try to embarrass you and make a fool out of you. They listen to you as well, something that y'all can't do. That's all I needed to know, that you're not really my friend. So I'm trying to turn and try to make some, you're bad, you did whatever. No. Talk about why I said what I did. Talk about why I did what I did, why I said what I said. You're not doing that part of it. Like I said, if we just talk about what was said and not why, then I'm always going to sound bad every time. Let's talk about things that you said about me, including then. If you give no context, then of course the insults always make the person seem like they're bad and wrong. See, I ain't gotta lie like you. I can give context behind it. So, I'm not gonna lie, that was embarrassing and I was thrown off. That did kind of surprise me. But at the same time, it's like, nope, I'm glad it happened. And thanks for the new video idea and the ad revenue. So, in a nutshell, do I feel bad for making the video? Absolutely not. Do I believe that I was wrong for calling y'all out your names? Yeah, that was wrong. I'm not going to go around that. But at the same time, I also know that you all should know better, just like how my subscribers do. Wasn't meant to be taken in that kind of way. I use terms like hoe, etc. Even when I'm hanging out with you all. And all of a sudden, it's so offensive. Don't say that. Whatever. Now I'm a bad person. I'm fake. I'm whatever. I literally don't even care at this point. I'm not going to keep on explaining myself back and forth. But please don't try to come for me. Don't try to argue with me because you cannot win that battle. Don't compare yourself looks-wise. Don't compare yourself financially. Don't compare yourself when it comes to men. You're a hypocrite. you can't do that. I was literally laughing to myself like, everything you're trying to say about me, it comes literally right back to you. It does. And then like, even when you're trying to tell me, don't talk about ghetto. Ghetto's not paying your rent. Ghetto's not whatever. Ghetto is what you're doing right now. I already made videos about the stuff, and you want to know what? Unlike you, I actually do pay my stuff eventually. I was in a situation where I could not. I didn't have a job and didn't have money. And I'm honest about my situations. I'm humble about them. You are not, and that's what I was calling ghetto. Not having money, being poor, whatever, does not make you a bad person. That wasn't what I was saying about you. But as always, of course, taking things out of context to make yourself look good is what, people like you like to do to your show. Understand it. Understandably, I get it. Do I like Jamaica? No. Do I have a problem with your country? No, not really. But my point was, you come from a place that doesn't have anything. So for you to act like you're used to having everything was ironic. Both of them, her and Capra, have all these high expectations for what they want their men to be like, etc. And it's like, what man that has all of that stuff will want you all? Forget about height, forget about weight, forget about careers, education, etc., whatever. Y'all don't even do the basic feminine things that a woman is expected to do. Dress feminine, act feminine, cook, clean. Y'all don't do any of those things, and you're lazy and not punctual, you're late. Those are just basics. Easy things that anybody can do in within 24 hours. I'm not talking about physical changes. For example, you can't change your height and you can't change your weight, but that takes time. And sorry Trishelle to break it to you, but you ain't the correct weight either, girl. You got a little gut going on. You ain't fat, I'll be honest about that. But you're not skinny, so let's not try to talk about weight. Not to mention, I don't want to be thin. You built like a refrigerator, bitch. You got a rectangular shaped body. Trying to talk to me about my stomach, try to get on me about weight, etc. Please don't talk about weight, numbers, or body shapes, or anything like that with me, girl. Because the way that you're shaped like a little boy. Don't try to go there with me, even with a push-up bra on. Do not go there. Look like that Cinnamon Jack shit from the Apple Jacks commercial. What's his name? Cinnamon, whatever that dude is. Cinnamon something, I think. You look like that nigga. Don't try that shit with me. So, Capra, I'll spare you because you ain't say shit about that. But, and then that's the other funny part too. Sorry, I gotta say this about you too, Capra. But hey, you threw me under the bus as well. You trying to call me fat? Your friend at the table's fatter than me. So how are you gonna talk about me without insulting her? You literally just indirectly insulted her. Because if you don't talk about me and my stomach, then what are you secretly thinking about Capra? Both of y'all fucking retarded. Because y'all both hanging out with each other after that. And then even with Capra, the whole reason why you found that shit was because you were passively upset and felt like blacks in Japan, because the group is for blacks in Japan and not blacks in the world. You've entitled it that way. You felt frustrated that you wanted a group that is just for black Americans, which was clearly made to X out your only real friend, Trishelle. You are so fucking stupid. You pulled her into this mess, who is not an American, to X me out. Maybe you didn't think it was going to get that bad, which you should have fucking thought about that. That's your problem and your fault, not my issue anymore. The whole thing is just so messy and stupid. I forgot I was even getting that, so I keep saying I'm done. I am done. And now we really are at 2 hours. We're at 1 hour, 47 minutes, so I'm just, like, this whole thing was just so crazy to me. I couldn't believe that this really happened the way that it did. And at the place it did. And I got mad because this was supposed to be my last day here. And I would not have been spending that much money if I knew it was going to be a bad meetup like that. I would have just stayed my ass at home. And it's funny because I recorded the video for Patreon. I told my mom before I met with them, I was like, something just doesn't seem right, especially with Trishelle, because she deleted me from the group and gave an excuse for why she did it. And I was right. My gut feeling is always right. I felt something was off about Trishelle from the moment that we met, and I was right. And even that, she tried to make it sound like I was fake for saying that, and I'm like, bitch, we said the story to you 1,000,000 times. In fact, she liked the story so much, shows you how fake this hoe is. Trishelle asked me to retell the story at least 2 or 3 different times over the course of the year of me working with her. Because she was like, tell me the story again about how, we met or whatever. Because I told her about how she used to be my next door neighbor. I accidentally had airdropped her one of my YouTube videos, which was super embarrassing. I tweeted about that before I even met her. And I told her how we had several situations where she could have spoken to me and she did not. We got on the elevator together. She didn't even say hi to me. And then she tried to pass off on, because I'm dark skinned, I'm black, I'm expected to be friendly. No, that's just common courtesy and manners. You're working with a new person. You're alone with them now. The least you can do is say hi. Nice to meet you. Hello. Welcome. She ain't say shit even when she was alone with me. Clearly you felt some type of way about me. That was the point. I said that to you already, bitch. And she tried to act like she was surprised, like I was fake. Oh, you said from the beginning you didn't like me, blah, blah. I was like, no. You showed me why I shouldn't. You were rude and couldn't speak to me. And then when we did have the opportunity to work together inside that fucking workshop, you showed me you ain't finna have my back, which is cool. But like I said, it's black code. I expected you as a black person. Forget about agreeing with me. You would have my back and ain't gonna have me looking goofy and be like, okay, this ain't worth arguing over. Let's stop. Let's end this here. Nope. Neither of them black girls did. They both were like, oh, like just watching the heat go down, excited. And that's a problem I have with Capra. I didn't have no real issues with her besides that. But that was a big part of why, I can never really see you as being a friend. Because even for myself, when you're in your position, I don't care if I know that you're in the wrong. I'm not going to let my friends go at it with each other. I'm not going to set them up either. That's childish type shit. But I'm definitely, even if I know that that friend deserves and they're in the wrong, I don't do the type of shit. I'm not going to let y'all act ghetto and make a scene and be crazy, etc. Because even at the workshop that was ghetto, we did make a scene. Because the instructor saw what was going on. He even felt awkward. And of course, none of them noticed it. Because they don't notice shit. So, for some reason, that's the problem I have with black people. They want white people to accommodate them and understand them and their culture and everything else. And I'm saying this as a black person myself. But they don't like the idea of assimilating and understanding somebody else's culture and country, which is really funny. They will preach to you for days about why you should understand black American culture and black Americans. But God forbid you try to explain to them why, okay, you're living in Japan, you need to understand Japanese culture and respect their traditions, their whatever. They don't understand that concept. So, alright, I'm done bitching. There's a lot more that could have been said. All I want to say in a nutshell is, both of y'all dumb for hanging out with each other because both of y'all don't really like each other. Trishelle Capra talks shit about you to me, so she probably talks shit about you to other people too. So continue being friends with her fakeness. Secondly, both of y'all snakes, because you both set me up. Instead of just directly telling her excuse was, oh, then when you say, something with your phone, whatever. Girl, I ain't saying shit with my phone. The only thing that I did, which was honest, I switched between my iPhone and my Android phone. Which when you do that with Line, it automatically deletes all of your chats. So I did make that known in my story that my Line chat was going to be deleted because I was switching phones. I ain't never gave no excuse about my phone not working and me not being able to talk. So bullshit. They knew that I wasn't going to sit there and listen to them act crazy. The goal was to embarrass me, make me feel trapped, and talk to me face to face and try to make me feel scared because they're confronting me. That was their point. They shocked me, but I was like, you ain't finna scare me, bitch. All you doing is making me laugh and giving me YouTube video ideas to make money off of. So thank you. And I no longer feel socially obligated. And I'm actually really happy because I won't lie, at first, I felt weird about coming to Tokyo because I'm like, I'm going to leave all my friends behind, etc., my work friends, etc. I'm going to have to start over. I didn't have a job here at the time. But now I'm like, nope, now I'm glad I did things the way that I did because now I have nothing there. Relationship I left there, work buddies I left there, everything, house, all of it, complete fresh start. So thank you. I have no reason to go back there other than for sightseeing. Thank you very much because all of my friends have always been in Tokyo, so this works great for me. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Don't dish shit that you can't take. And on top of that, you want to do your research better because anybody make no videos just talking shit about you. And on top of that, my whole channel was about myself. Nothing you can say about me that ain't already known. I talk about my jobs that I quit, my family problems, my relationship problems, my housing problems, my money problems, my weight problems. Everything is even skin, fertility, like everything. Either I have a blog post on it or a YouTube video on it. Sorry, sweetheart, I already beat you to the punchline. So before you try to talk shit and try to tell me what I need to do and names to keep out your mouth, etc., maybe you should actually finish watching the video. Not to mention, let's be fair here. Don't tell one side of the story. You're forgetting to mention why I said the things that I said. Ain't nobody just going on a tangent talking shit about you. It was all said for a reason. You're embarrassing me by acting like you're a princess despite not coming from a princess country. That is my point. I'm done. Trishelle, take care. Wish you the best at your job for the little bit of time you have left there. Hope you can eventually have a baby if one of your ovaries still working. And I hope that nasty scar on your stomach heals. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. And I don't have to lie and say shit about you about, looking old, etc. Because I'll be honest with you, you don't look, old or anything like that. You look your age. You look you're in your 30s. So, you're fine. All you gotta do is really work on your personality. Throw some makeup on. You won't be that damn ugly. Because you really, even without makeup, you ain't busted. I ain't gotta lie on you. You're somewhere between cute to average. I don't find you beautiful, but I could definitely see a black guy saying that you're beautiful. Or some old white guy. Like, the colonizers that you like to date. They love you. So, go after one of them. If you take better care of your hair and makeup and learn how to dress nice and might want to get some surgery done so your body ain't shaped like a fucking rectangle like a little boy, you're already like 12 feet tall, then sure, you will probably be able to find yourself a man that has money. So, and while you're busy talking shit about me, Guess who's living in a nicer apartment than you, with a better job than you, making more money than you, doing things that your bitch ass can never do? Yep, that's right, me. So it doesn't matter how I'm getting it or what I'm doing or how unfair life is. My life is still better than yours. So continue talking shit, continue hating on me, continue wishing that you were me. Because sorry, you downloaded Tinder in Paris and still couldn't get no matches. So what's your excuse? If it's just me being a hoe and using those apps, first of all, why did you download them and try them? And secondly, why were you asking me advice on them and desperate to do it right before your 35th birthday? And on top of that, like I said, why didn't it work for you? Huh? Why didn't it work? You're so beautiful, right, Trisha? Why didn't it work? Oh. Can't find nobody, can you? I can't keep a man because my pussy whack. But men will fuck anything. They don't even want to fuck you. So that says a lot about what men think about you. Forget me and my opinions. Don't go there with me, sweetheart. You rich? Quit your job. Go where you really want to go. You can afford that, can't you? Oh, you can't. What's going to happen when your father dies? Are you going to have enough money to go back to Jamaica this time? Or are you going to go broke again? Are you going to be in a situation where you need money, but you got too much pride to ask for it again? You're going to lose your next credit card too? Don't play me, ho. I ain't got to embarrass you in a restaurant in front of a few people, in front of, 5, 10 people. No. I'll do it on YouTube in front of thousands. Don't play with me, bitch. So, yeah. Thank you. Now that's being two-faced. That's being phony. And that's also being a real bitch. Because now I told you how I really feel. Put you back in your place. Don't try me. You want to be bold, big, and bad? Tell your friends at work how you really feel. I'll drop names. Don't make me do it, please. They know who they are, and they're probably watching this too. Tell the white staff. Tell the Turkish staff the crap you said to me and Capra about them. Since you're a real bitch, since you big and bad, you can confront people. Tell them. Tell them what you felt about Science Week. They're listening. Tell them, Trishelle. I fucking dare you. So, yes, that is a threat. Thank you for listening, bitch. Thanks for the ad revenue. Thanks for kissing my ass. Thanks for stalking me. Continue lurking, bitch. Have fun. Bye-bye. And thank you for watching.